Thank you for joining me at Tantrum House Studio D. I'm Melissa Delp. Learn how to advance your civilization along the energy usage Kardashev scale in this How to Play video. Kardashev Scale is an engine-building card game for 2 to 6 players. It has elements of rock, paper, scissors and takes about 30 minutes to play. It's designed by Stephen Avery and Eugene Bryant. The publisher, WizKids, sponsored this How to Play video. I'm going to cover setup, gameplay, and scoring. The video has timestamps to help you navigate to each section. Each player chooses an alien civilization dial and places it in front of them. The only difference between them is the art. Sort and shuffle the advancement cards by type. There are 30 planetary cards, 18 stellar, and 12 galactic. Then form the advancement market by revealing 4 planetary cards. Above those, reveal 3 stellar cards. And above those, reveal 2 galactic cards. The shape should resemble a pyramid. Place each advancement deck to the left of its corresponding row. Sort the resource tokens by type and place them near the advancement cards. Finally, give the starting token to the youngest player. Now that you're all set up, you're ready to learn how to play. Your goal in Kardashev Scale is to build the most advanced civilization, which is of course measured in victory points. Each round, you'll secretly choose an action and compare it to your neighbor's choices in a rock, paper, scissors-like method. On most turns, you'll be collecting resources, which can be used to purchase advancement cards. You continue playing round after round until the end of the game is triggered. Then you count up points to determine the winner. Let's take a more detailed look at how the round works. In a few places, the rules are slightly different for 2 players. I'll let you know when there are differences. At the beginning of each round, players participate in a summit. Simultaneously, each player chooses an action on their civilization dial, research, trade, conflict, or advance, and then places the dial face down. Once everyone has chosen, all players flip over their dials to reveal their selected action. Now you're going to compare your dial with the dials of your neighbors, the player directly to your left and the player directly to your right. The strength of your action will be determined by whether you win, lose, or tie against each neighbor. Like rock, paper, scissors, each of the 3 resources, research, trade, and conflict, beat 1 resource and lose to 1 resource. Research beats trade, trade beats conflict, and conflict beats research. When you win against a neighbor, you gain 2 of the resource you selected on your dial. If you tie, you gain 1. If you lose, you gain nothing. If your neighbor selected the advance action, you automatically win against them. So if I choose trade and the player to my left, Kevin, chooses conflict, I win against him and gain 2 trade resources. Kevin gets nothing from the matchup. If the player to my right chooses trade, we tie, and we both gain 1 trade resource. I gained a total of 3 trade resources. During a summit, you could gain anywhere from 0 resources if you lose to both of your neighbors, to 4 resources if you win against both neighbors. Now, if you're playing with just 2 players, there's a slight adjustment to the rules. Since you're only comparing dials with 1 other player, you gain 3 resources if you win instead of 2. Once everyone who chose a resource action has collected their resources, you move to the advance action. Players who chose the advance action during the summit can purchase an advancement card to place in their civilization. If multiple players chose advance, turn order starts with the player holding the starting token and proceeds clockwise. When you advance, you choose an advancement card to buy and turn in the appropriate resource tokens. Each advancement card shows its price on the left side. Then you immediately place the card in your civilization. If you're holding the starting token when you buy an advancement card, pass the token to the next player in a clockwise direction. The token can pass multiple times during the same round if the players it's being passed to have also chosen the advance action. So basically, if you have the starting token when you buy a card with the advance action, you're going to pass it to the next player. If that player did not choose advance during the summit, the token stays. But if that player did choose advance, then the token's going to move to the next player. In a 2-player game, you only pass the starting token if both players choose advance during the same round. So the second player will hold on to that token until both players advance again. There are some placement rules you need to be aware of when you purchase an advancement card. The cards must be placed in a pyramid shape with planetary cards on the bottom, stellar cards in the middle, and galactic cards on top. To play a card of a higher level, you must have 2 cards below it to support it. Now, your final shape doesn't have to be an exact pyramid. You can build a bunch of bottom-level planetary cards without building up, but you won't get a lot of points that way. Each card shows its base level of points in the upper left-hand corner. On the bottom left is the card's aspect, either technology, territory, or culture. The bottom text explains the card's ability. Some abilities trigger when the card is built. Some have ongoing abilities, and some provide extra victory points at the end of the game. The round ends after all the players who chose advance either purchase a card or decide not to. If you have more than 10 resource tokens at the end of the round, you need to discard down to 10. To begin the next round, you pick up your dials and start a new summit. You continue playing until at least one player has 25 or more base points. Now, only use the large points in the upper left-hand side of the cards for this calculation. You'll finish the round and then total up all the points. Another way to trigger the end of the game is to have one of the advancement card piles empty out. To calculate your score, add up the base points of all your cards and then look for any cards that give extra endgame points. Some grant points for the types of cards in your civilization, or for resources left in your supply, or even for making certain decisions during the game. The player with the most points is the winner. If there's a tie, the game provides 4 levels of tiebreakers. Kardashev Scale is all about reading your neighbors and building a good engine with your advancement cards. Now that you know how to play, go out and advance your civilization through research, trade, and conflict.